All right, thanks for joining us. The brand new Bergman Express chairlift is now open at Keystone for the 2023-24 season, and it gives snowboarders and skiers a chance to experience Keystone's high alpine terrain. Keystone Resort opened the entirety of Bergman Bowl with the new chairlift, allowing guests to explore over 250 acres of high alpine skiing and riding, including one of the nation's highest green trails, 10 Mile. Once terrain in Erickson Bowl opens, the total acreage accessed by the new chairlift will be about 555 acres. While Bergman and Erickson Bowls have previously been open for hike to skiing and riding access at the resort, much of Keystone's hike to bowl terrain has largely gone underutilized. For the first time ever now, both Bergman and Erickson Bowls are accessible by lift to a variety of skiers and riders at the resort. Bergman Express allows guests to easily lap the mellow and welcoming terrain in the Bergman Bowl, as well as access more advanced terrain in Erickson Bowl that connects back to the Outback Express and Wayback lifts. So, in addition to the new lift, the project also includes a new sustainable patrol hut, new snowmaking infrastructure in the lower parts of the Bergman Bowl, and a brand new trail map to reflect the reimagined ski experience in Keystone's high alpine. Bergman Express is Keystone Resort's first lift access expansion since the Outback Express debuted in 1991, more than 30 years ago. Now over at Vail Christian, the girls basketball team has a new head coach at the helm that the team is really excited about. Fresh out of Baylor University, the Texan, Savannah Webster, is already making an impact on the Saints girls basketball team.
She's really on top of it and stays on our team, makes sure we're all on it and on time and punctual.
Webster teaches mathematics at Vail Christian, but her passion revolves around the rock. This is her first head coaching job, and she's taking a unique approach.
She just makes it feel like almost a family, like she's just like our sister, basically. It's not more of like, I'm better than you because I'm your coach kind of dynamic. It's more of just, we're all just great friends. And she makes it fun. She makes us work, but she makes it fun, and yet we're still a disciplined team.
To these girls, Coach Webster is already one of them. She explains fitting into their culture is her intention as the new leader of the Saints program.
I want them to love the sport, and I want them to have fun, and I want to be on their team. And so getting to be with them and let them know I'm not going to ever make them do something that I wouldn't do. I want them to love the sport. I want them to want to come back. I want them to be excited about practicing games. And so that's kind of a goal that I had going in. So
Webster believes winning games will come this season as the camaraderie on her team continues to grow. Staying with Vail Christian, the boys basketball team also has a new head coach the team's excited about. Here's our conversation with new head coach of the Saints, Andrew Newman. So we're with the new head coach of Vail Christian basketball, Andrew Newman. And Coach, you got a new season in front of you. What's kind of the expectation there?
Well, it's really hard to say right now. We're a very green, very young team, but we're super excited. A lot of great kids, a lot of work ethic going on, a lot of effort going in, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, and I was telling you this earlier when we were chatting just a minute ago, but you know, you guys may be a newer team, but it seems like the chemistry is already there. Do you feel like you guys already kind of have that camaraderie on the team?
Yeah, for sure. A couple of the seniors in particular are doing a great job leading us, so they're building that chemistry from the top down. And then the younger guys in each of those classes, there's a couple kids that are really leading their classes. So I'm really happy to see this early in the season, this kind of chemistry.
Okay, in what ways will those seniors come together? You mentioned you have three, Jack Pryor, Will Newman. How do you think those guys are going to kind of come together and lead this team this season?
Well, they're going to have to really put in a lot of effort on the court, probably getting a lot of minutes out there. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, but it's more their leadership off the court that matters. They're doing a great job really leading these guys and building that chemistry, especially encouraging the younger guys. You know, when you're new to high school basketball or it's your first time on varsity, there's a lot you got to learn. There's a huge learning curve, and those guys are doing a great job encouraging the younger players.
And you may be new to the head coaching role, taking over the helm of this Vail Christian program, but you're not new to the team by any standard. You've been here 2 years, got the torch passed over you from Coach Coons. What was that moment like to be kind of handed the role of this program that's been successful in his 23 years here, to be that guy that he wanted to take over the helm?
Yeah, that was a huge honor. Really grateful for everything that he's done for this school and for this program. And like you said, 23 years, he's built a winning culture, a winning program, a great chemistry. We're going to be keeping a lot of things that he did and just try to build on the great foundation he's already created.
Okay, and you mentioned, not a lot's going to change. That winning culture is hopefully going to stick around too with you at the helm. But what things may change under your leadership?
We're going to keep trying to maintain a pretty high tempo. This valley is a valley that has a lot of great athletes. We've got a lot of great athletes on this team, so can work really hard to keep pushing the tempo and really working to have a high character team that in everything we do, we're trying to reflect the values of this school.
Okay, and you mentioned you got a scrimmage with Battle Mountain coming up. Obviously, that's an exhibition game against, another Valley team, so you probably want to do pretty well in that matchup. But what kind of makes that a good game from y'all, how you show up against Battle Mountain?
Well, it's going to be interesting because we're only going to have about 6 practices with this green group of guys before we hit that scrimmage. So we're still learning each other's names, let alone all the offenses, defenses. So a lot of it's just going to be going out there and playing good basketball. It is fun, though, to be playing inter-valley teams. A lot of these guys play together in the off season, so they all know each other. And so what's really fun is those friendships, knowing the coaches, knowing the guys, the friendships off the court, and then you get on the court, all of a sudden, game's on. It's competition. And even though in a scrimmage, you're not supposed to keep score, I can promise you, every one of our guys, they're going to know the score in their own heads. So we'll have a good time.
And speaking about playing, inter-valley teams, you guys play Vail Mountain School twice a year. That's the big rivalry in this valley for y'all. What's it going to be like, you think, just getting on the court as the head coach of this team and playing them this year for your first time at the helm?
Yeah, this year we're going to be playing them at their gym. Their gym is always packed. It's a tight gym. It'll be a full house, I'm sure. And like you said, it's an in-valley competition, so this should be a really good time. It's going to be a tough game. They always play a tough game. They're a very well-coached team. They're very strategic in the way they play the game, so it's going to be a really tough game for sure.
How have you kind of grown to appreciate this rivalry between Vail Christian and Vail Mountain School in your 2 years prior to taking over this team?
Well, it's always one of the games we have circled on our calendar, and I'm sure they do as well. It's just a good time. I mean, off the court, you want to be able to say you won that game this year, so they'll have a great program. They always have a great program. Hopefully we'll be strong as well, and it should be a really tight game.
Okay, and you mentioned Plateau Valley this season as being a big contender. Obviously, you may have a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth after last season, but what are you looking to get out of that matchup this year with them?
Well, we're going to learn a lot where we stand. They're third game of the season, so we have the home opener, and then we've got them on the 5th of December. And as you mentioned, they beat us twice in a row last year, 2 out of 3 games in a row. So that'll be a really tough team. They've got most of their starting lineup returning from that state team that went to state last year, and it'll be a really good way for us to find out, where we stand compared to the rest of the conference, and where we stand even in terms of being a potential state contender.
Mm-hmm. And this may be the hardest question I ask you all day, but if you could just narrow it down, what do you think you're looking forward to the most in this new season?
Wow. I just honestly enjoy being on the court with these guys. I mean, it's an awesome group of guys. I've mentioned I grew up in a gym basically with my dad being a coach, and so the chance just to be in the gym with a great group of guys, obviously the competition, doing a little bit of mentoring along the way, and I hope we get a couple wins as well. That'd be great.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Anything you want to add?
No, just grateful for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
While high school hoops are going strong now in the Valley, college basketball is also being played in the Centennial State. It's hard to believe, but we're already in week 10 of college basketball. Colorado State still holds a spot in the AP Top 25 after their strong start to the season. The Rams sit at 13-2 on the year. However, they're coming off a tough loss on the road in Logan, Utah against Utah State. Colorado State is quality wins over then-ranked number 8 in the country, Creighton, and over Colorado. Colorado was on the poll earlier this season, but have since fallen off, and the Buffs currently have 8 votes to jump back on the poll, however. Well, the Broncos have officially put the 2023-24 season to bed after falling short to the Raiders on Sunday. This is the 8th season in a row the Broncos have missed the playoffs, and the last time they went was in 2015 when they won the Super Bowl. This season certainly had its moments where we saw bits of what this team can become, but unfortunately we'll have to wait until next season to watch them play again. Denver finished tied for second in the AFC West with a record of 8-9 on the year. So that's just another year that the Broncos have missed the playoffs, which is getting pretty disappointing at this point, but hopefully the Nuggets and the Avs can have some strong seasons this year. Make sure to continue keeping up with us for all the latest sports coverage here in the Valley and beyond. We'll see you next time.